Are you ready for the most earth-shattering twist WWE has delivered in years? Because if the rumors are true and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are working together again, then the entire WWE universe is about to be turned completely upside down. Picture this. The tribal chief and the beast incarnate, side by side, united by dominance and destruction, tearing through every superstar, every faction, and every ounce of competition in their path. Tonight, we're diving deep into every hint, every cryptic move, and every explosive moment that points toward this unholy alliance being very, very real. And trust me, what's happening behind the scenes could permanently reshape WWE's power hierarchy as we know it. For weeks, fans have been talking about the strange tension filling the air in WWE. Roman Reigns has been absent, silent, and calculating. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman's new Vision faction has been positioned as the company's unstoppable face of dominance, carrying Heyman's signature of manipulation and strategy. And then there's Brock Lesnar destroying everything in his path, moving like a natural disaster with no warning, no mercy, and no boundaries. These three forces, the strategist, the manipulator, and the wrestling news WWE monster, are now orbiting each other again, and the collision seems inevitable. But here's what most people didn't realize. Roman's silence wasn't weakness. It was strategy. It wasn't the pause before an end. It was the calm before total domination. While social media was losing its mind and podcasts were drowning in fan theories, Roman Reigns was quietly observing, recalculating, and preparing for a devastating strike. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar started dropping hidden signals online. Tribal patterns, symbols of wolves, even one eerie image showing Roman's signature glove hanging from a chain like a trophy. It wasn't random, it was communication. And Paul Heyman, once the proud puppet master, began to crack. In backstage interviews, his usual competence was gone, replaced by sweat, stammers, and forced smiles. He told his Vision members, the era of the Vision is unstoppable as long as we remain loyal. But his tone betrayed him. It wasn't leadership. It was fear. His own soldiers could feel it. They looked at each other like people who had just read the last chapter of a horror story and realized they were the victims. WWE is a company that thrives on anticipation. They know how to make fans ache for a superstar's return, and Roman's absence made his presence legendary. Every rumor became gospel. Every delay added tension. But the real spark that ignited chaos was Brock Lesnar's move. When he appeared on SmackDown, standing in the exact spot where Roman once declared himself tribal chief, the atmosphere shifted. It wasn't rivalry, it was foreshadowing. Then came the night that flipped everything upside down. The lights went out. The arena drowned in darkness. And the familiar tribal drum beats began to echo. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Roman Reigns emerged through the smoke, walking with the calm fury of a returning emperor. The crowd roared, but their voices were cut short when Brock Lesnar followed him out. You could feel the confusion spread like fire. These two weren't enemies anymore, they were a storm forming right before our eyes. Roman didn't bring the bloodline. He didn't need them because standing behind him was the only force that could make even his cousins obsolete, the Beast himself. Lesnar's expression was cold, predatory, and fixed directly on Paul Heyman, who looked like a man watching his own empire collapse. The Vision faction rushed out to defend their leader, but what followed was a massacre. Brock and Roman unleashed chaos with surgical precision. Spears, F5s, Superman punches, suplexes. The ring became a battlefield, bodies flew, the crowd screamed, Heyman's legacy crumbled before his eyes, the man who built monsters was now being destroyed by them. The camera caught the perfect cinematic shot, Heyman on his knees, eyes wide in disbelief as Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar stood united over the wreckage. No handshake, no words, just one shared message to the world: we don't need you anymore. That single image rewrote WWE's power dynamic. Two of the most dominant forces in professional wrestling had merged into one unstoppable entity. Roman brings intellect, leadership, and intimidation. Brock brings brute power, chaos, and raw destruction. Together they form a new era, a war machine disguised as an alliance. But what comes next? There are three possible futures unfolding. First, the Vision faction collapses from within. Some members realize Heyman's loyalty is a death sentence and beg Roman and Brock for mercy, possibly joining them to form a mega faction built on dominance, strategy, and absolute fear. Others rebel, turning on Heyman for leading them into ruin, giving rise to a rebellion storyline, a resistance against the new empire. Second, Paul Heyman, the eternal strategist, might rebuild. He's a survivor. He's created icons before, and he might become the mastermind behind a new resistance, recruiting bitter, underutilized superstars into a movement aimed at revenge. Slowly, methodically, Heyman could become the devil working from the shadows. And third, the most dangerous scenario of all, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar seize total control of WWE. Raw and SmackDown fall under their reign. They bury careers. They block title opportunities, and they create a two-man tyranny that dominates every storyline. They become untouchable until someone decides to rise against them. Imagine that man being Seth Rollins, the one superstar who knows Roman's every weakness and has defeated both men in their prime. The architect turned Avenger stepping into a WrestleMania main event against Roman and Brock for ultimate control over WWE's destiny. 3 icons, 3 legacies, 1 empire at stake. Fans are already feeding the fire. Social media has exploded with hashtags, theories, and reaction clips. The Spear F5 combo has gone viral across every platform. Fans who gave up on WWE are coming back just to witness what's next. This isn't just a storyline. It's a revolution. The Roman-Lesnar alliance is not fiction anymore. It's dominance redefined. But here's the million-dollar question. Are they truly united, or is this the calm before one betrays the other? Roman lives for control. Brock thrives on chaos, and two apex predators can only share the same territory for so long before one strikes first. Until that happens, the entire WWE locker room should be terrified because the tribal chief and the beast incarnate just declared war on everyone. The Empire has returned, and this is only the beginning. Thanks for watching WWE Discuss. Don't blink because the storm is far from over. Click the next video now. Are you ready for what could be the most mind-bending and universe-shifting twist in WWE history? Because if the growing whispers are true, if Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar have truly joined forces once again, then the entire foundation of WWE is about to crumble and rebuild itself in ways no one saw coming. Imagine this. The tribal chief and the beast incarnate, two of the most dominant forces to ever step foot in a WWE ring. Standing shoulder to shoulder, their shared dominance radiating through every arena they walk into. Their combined power shaking the entire industry to its core. Tonight, we are diving deep into the clues, the rumors, the eerie silences, and the violent outbursts that point to one terrifying reality. This unholy alliance might not just be rumor. It might already be in motion, and what's coming next could permanently change the way WWE operates from top to bottom. Over the past several weeks, there's been a strange energy floating through the WWE universe. The kind of uneasy tension that only builds before something explosive happens. Roman Reigns, the once untouchable tribal chief, has been missing in action, quiet, withdrawn, and seemingly invisible. But silence has always been Roman's most dangerous weapon. When he disappears, it's not because he's lost control. It's because he's plotting his next move. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman's latest creation, the Vision faction, has tried to fill that void, presenting themselves as the new dominant power in WWE. They've been ruthless, methodical, and dangerous, powered by Heyman's mind games and strategic manipulation. And then out of nowhere, there's Brock Lesnar. Destructive, unstoppable, a storm that doesn't need a reason to rage. These three forces, Reigns, Lesnar, and Heyman, have always been connected by a mix of loyalty, betrayal, and chaos. But now, that triangle of power seems to be closing in on itself. What if this isn't random? What if Roman's silence and Brock's destruction were never separate stories but two sides of the same coin? While fans online have been debating theories, dissecting promos, and analyzing every camera angle, Roman has been watching, waiting, calculating. This isn't the end of his story, it's the rebirth of his empire. And Brock, he's been leaving a trail of clues for those smart enough to notice. Tribal designs suddenly appearing in his merchandise. Wolf emblems faintly embedded in his background graphics. A chilling image posted online of Roman's glove hanging from a chain like a silent trophy. This wasn't coincidence. It was communication, it was foreshadowing. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman, usually the picture of composure, has started to crack under pressure. His confidence has turned into stammering desperation. During a recent backstage segment, he told the Vision faction, "The era of the Vision is unstoppable as long as we stay loyal." But his trembling tone told a different story. His soldiers noticed it. The cracks were showing. And when Heyman starts to sweat, the WWE universe knows something catastrophic is coming. WWE has mastered the art of suspense. They know how to make absence feel like presence, and Roman Reigns' disappearance has turned into a global obsession. Every week, fans waited for his return, analyzing every teaser, every sound cue, every camera pan for a hint that the tribal chief was about to reclaim his throne. But what nobody predicted was that when he finally returned, he wouldn't come back alone. The lights went black, the arena filled with smoke. The pounding tribal drums began to echo through the darkness. Boom, 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 and out stepped Roman Reigns, walking like a man who had seen the battlefield and returned to conquer it. The crowd exploded, but before the roar could even settle, the unthinkable happened. Brock Lesnar's music hit. The beast incarnate walked out through the haze, his eyes locked forward, his face unreadable. The audience froze, the air was electric with confusion. These two men, historic enemies, career rivals, were now standing together. No tension, no fight, just silent acknowledgement. Roman didn't bring the bloodline. He didn't need them anymore because Brock Lesnar had become the new weapon of the Empire. The Vision faction charged the ring, loyal to Heyman, desperate to protect their leader. What followed was pure chaos. Roman and Brock dismantled them like predators toying with prey. Spears, F5s, Superman punches, suplexes. The ring became a battlefield of broken bodies and shattered pride. When the dust settled, Paul Heyman was left kneeling on the mat, staring in horror as his past creations, the monsters he once controlled, now stood united above him. It was poetic, tragic, and terrifying all at once. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar didn't shake hands, didn't speak, didn't even smile. They just stared down at Heyman as if to say, "We've outgrown you." That moment changed everything. WWE has seen betrayals, alliances, and rivalries. But this was the formation of an empire. Spine of every superstar in the locker room and every fan watching around the globe. Tonight we're peeling back the curtain, uncovering the clues, the secret gestures, the cryptic imagery, and the shocking silence that all point toward one inevitable truth. This unholy alliance may already be real, and its rise could redefine WWE's entire landscape forever. For weeks, tension has been brewing within the company like a storm ready to explode. Roman Reigns, the once untouchable and seemingly invincible tribal chief, vanished from the spotlight. No interviews, no appearances, not even a cryptic message. But anyone who truly understands Roman knows that his silence is never meaningless. It's not retreat, it's calculation. When Roman steps away, it's because he's crafting something monumental, something that could shake the very core of WWE. While he's been absent, Paul Heyman has tried to keep control through his new Vision faction, a powerful and dangerous collective built in the mold of Heyman's manipulative brilliance. They've dominated screens and crushed opponents, branding themselves as the future of WWE under Heyman's guidance. But behind that confidence, cracks have started to show. And then out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar returned to the scene, destroying everything and everyone in sight like an uncontrollable force of nature. He's not fighting for titles anymore. He's fighting for purpose, for chaos, for something deeper. And that something might be Roman Reigns himself. Because while most fans see three separate stories, Roman's disappearance, Heyman's new empire, and Brock's destruction, the truth might be that they're all pieces of the same master plan. Roman Reigns' silence could be the foundation of a bigger plot, and Brock Lesnar's violence could be the smoke before the explosion. The signs have been there all along, hidden in plain sight. Roman's last public appearance hinted at unfinished business. Brock's new merchandise suddenly incorporated tribal patterns, ancient wolf symbols, and cryptic imagery that connects back to the Reigns dynasty. One haunting image even showed Roman's black glove dangling from a chain posted without explanation. And that, fans, wasn't coincidence, it was communication, a message only the most devoted could decipher. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman, once the man in control of both Roman and Brock's legacies, has started to unravel. His confidence has evaporated, replaced by visible anxiety and hesitant words. In one segment, he told the Vision faction, "The era of the Vision is unstoppable as long as we remain loyal." But his tone betrayed his fear. His eyes darted, his hands shook. It was the sound of a man who realizes the chessboard has been flipped and he's no longer the player, he's the pawn. And that's when everything changed. WWE thrives on anticipation, on the art of the slow burn. They know how to make fans desperate for a comeback, how to make absence feel like presence. Roman's disappearance turned into a worldwide obsession. Every social media post, every unexplained graphic, every backstage rumor became a piece of the puzzle. But the true moment of revelation came on one unforgettable night. The night that silenced the crowd and broke the internet. The arena lights went dark. Smoke filled the stage. The unmistakable drum beats of Roman's entrance theme echoed through the building. Boom, 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 the audience erupted in screams. Roman Reigns stepped out wearing a signature scowl, walking like a ruler reclaiming his throne. But what came next changed everything. Brock Lesnar's theme hit. The crowd gasped, out-walked the beast. Eyes cold, expression unreadable, muscles tense like a predator ready to strike. But he didn't attack, he didn't even speak. He just stood beside Roman, the two titans facing the crowd together. No bloodline, no handshake, no explanation, just power, pure, terrifying, united power. The Vision faction, loyal to Heyman, stormed the ring in panic, desperate to protect their leader. What followed wasn't a match, it was a massacre. Roman and Brock moved like predators in sync. Superman punches, spears, F5s, and suplexes tore through Heyman's faction like paper. Every move was surgical, deliberate, symbolic, a brutal message that the old order was dead. The man who once created monsters was now being crushed by them. When the chaos cleared, Paul Heyman was left kneeling in the center of the ring, surrounded by the wreckage of his creation, staring up at the two forces that had once made him untouchable. Roman and Brock didn't even look down. They didn't smile, didn't celebrate. They simply stood tall side by side as if declaring to the entire world, "We don't need you anymore." That silent image was more powerful than any promo. It was the visual birth of a new empire. Roman Reigns, the mind, the strategist, the leader. Brock Lesnar, the chaos, the weapon, the force of destruction. Together, they're not a team wrestling news WWE.